I hear that from contractors a lot. Like, I just need the phone to ring. Well, when you think about your day to day as a consumer, because we are all consumers, chances are you sent more text messages or Facebook Messenger messages or other types of messages more than you made phone calls.
Yeah.
I know
Oh,
that's
100%.
yeah. I know that's true for me anyways, and, a lot of my peers and homeowners that contractors are trying to attract. So what I work with contractors to do is really understand, who is that client you're trying to attract and how can you meet them where he or she is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it really does start with establishing lines of communication that may not currently be in place for your business or may not currently be routine. So obviously the phone is really important. Some people are always going to call, or at some point in working with your customers, you're going to need to pick up the phone.
Yeah. We
However,
can't do away with that altogether.
yes, I also hear contractors all the time say, just bring me more leads. How do I get more leads? Fill up that top of the funnel.
Mm-hmm.
And what better way than to open more lines of communication?
Where all lines of communication are you talking about? Like
Yeah,
what were you thinking about?
absolutely. So what I'm referring to here is, like, does your business have a dedicated line for texting, right? Where can
Mm,
homeowners find that? Especially if it's after hours, or,
okay.
or if they're busy during the day, which many of us are.
Right.
Does your website have self-service chat that helps people, self-serve and get the answers that they need about your products and services, right?
Yeah.
Do you offer online scheduling? So a lot of people, maybe they've heard that you as a contractor, you do great work and they're already ready to work with you. Well, if they call you, can't reach you to book, a service call,
Yeah.
they might go to someone else on the list, right?
They just assume that you're too busy. I
Right,
mean, you
right.
do such great work that you're just so booked out. It's like, well, I'll just try them again next time, maybe.
Well, and the thing was, so if you find a contractor, let's say Google, since
Mhm.
Google's the big one, every option they have, whether it's local service ads, paper maps, or organic, has more than one option. So it's very easy to hit the back button and go back to the next guy that's on the list. And it's just it's crazy to me that there's still contractors. Well, I mean, there's still contractors not using CRMs, but
Mhm.
believe it or not, but the just not having another form of communication or investing in those solutions, especially, I talk to a lot of guys who are on the smaller end of things, 1-2 man shops, and they're answering the phone while they're installing a new system for Mrs. Jones. And then they're, updating the next customer, what time they're going to be there. And they're trying to do all this stuff while they're just trying to manage their business.
You're
And
trying
they
to
don't have,
remember that too. Me, if I'm in the middle of
right.
doing this and I answer a phone, like right now, if someone calls me and says, "Hey, can you send somebody to my house?" I'm like, I'll be 100% honest with you. You really want to call the office number or chat the office, because there's a
'Cause I don't
strong
remember.
possibility that I'm going to drop the ball on this, but I will try. But I would still double check that the office got the information, because it's so, like, my brain doesn't work that way. If I'm not, like, if I'm driving, I have to write it down, or like send it straight, pull over the side of the road and get all the information, send it to the office. So I could only imagine if I was in the field still trying to answer the phone and do all of that stuff too. So that's just a wild thought process to me. But continue on with other places where that people are going to communicate with you.
Yeah, so I talked about text, online scheduling. The phone is still important, especially if you're a small operation, right?
Yeah.
Chances are you can't afford to hire someone back at the office to answer phones full time. That's where an answering service can come in handy, right? But think about social media networks, like specifically like Google Messenger. You can activate that from your Google business profile. You've got Facebook Messenger. People are a lot more acclimated to sending a business messages through that. In fact, Facebook says 20 billion messages are exchanged between consumers and businesses every month. Like, that's
That's wild.
mind-boggling. You
I
probably
believe it, but you know how many of them are probably hidden somewhere in the business suite that you can't
Yes.
ever access?
Yeah, let's
Probably
not go there.
probably 19 billion of those 20 billion are hidden somewhere, and you get
Every
this
once in a while,
notification that says your business suite has a new message, and you're like, oh, sweet, let me click on it. You click on it, and then it goes to everywhere but where you're actually supposed to be, and then you can never find what you actually need in there. That thing's the biggest joke in my life.
it's
Yeah.
terrible. I find every once in a while I'll get on there and I'll just start going through stuff, and I'm like, where was this? This was 3 weeks ago, and I never saw this. But so
Having a platform that brings that in to you straight to the office, and then it's like you don't have to go searching and you get that dive down in a rabbit hole. That's amazing. That's worth its price of admission, in my opinion, right there.
Yes, absolutely. And that's why products like Signpost exist, because we have gone out and talked to contractors about this very problem